It's time for Fox 10 Sports Night with Richard Sines, featuring Robby Baker and Megan Plain.
You know, on the field, Sharpe was one of the best in the business, a Pro Bowler, a major player on the football field for the Arizona Cardinals. But off the field, it was a completely different ball game, and Robby Baker has that story as Sharpe hopes to help people avoid the mistakes he made in his life.
Sharpe was a first-round pick of the then St. Louis Cardinals. When the team moved to Arizona, Luis became a fan favorite on the offensive line. He became a staple in the community. But for all the success he was having on the field, Luis was enduring struggles behind the scenes.
I wanted so very badly to give the fans the type of performance, a playoff-worthy team. I wanted to be proud as I walked around in the community that we were winners.
Sharpe was once a staple of the Cardinals' offensive line. He made a living protecting the quarterback, but he wasn't looking out for himself.
I've been to prison 4 times. You know, I got sentenced, and there was one of the local scribes wrote in the newspaper, from football hero to crackhead zero.
Luis struggled with addiction and lost touch with the game and people he loved.
I sort of just saw what was happening on the news and recognized that there was a lot of chaos and calamity in our home as a result of his addiction, and there was a lot of pain there, you know, and I had a lot of shame.
And Rebekah, my kids were small at the time. They were in school. They were teased. They were humiliated. They were unfriended. Very, very lonely, and they, you know, had to deal with some very tough emotional issues. You know, you feel like the more money you have, the more sex you have, the more adulation and the more affirmation you get from the fans. You know, somehow all of that will fill that very deep spiritual emptiness that you feel.
He was absent for many of the milestones in my early childhood, and we did have some brokenness and some disconnection in our relationship, and that really shaped a lot of my childhood.
But after being inches away from death on multiple occasions, his daughter Rebekah realized their story could be the light others needed in their dark times.
It would have been so easy for his life to be over, but he's here for a reason, and I didn't want to continue to have this contentious relationship with somebody who I knew was a walking miracle.
I don't regret my past, neither do I wish to shut the door on it, because I recognize that with it, along with my 13-year, 3 Pro Bowl NFL experience, you know, those are the kind of things that opens up hearts.
With time and help, Luis has overcome.
There was a time and a period in my life where I didn't even want to mention his name, right? I had a lot of shame, and there was a lot of pain and frustration and unforgiveness that sort of lingered there. But now when I see him just conquering these giants and really leaning into, yeah, this is my story, but I'm going to use it for something that's so much greater than myself, it has helped me to become more bold and courageous.
And through their work with the Hall of Fame and their Sharpe Talk podcast.
Welcome to Sharpe Talk, Barry Sanders.
Hello, Eric, and welcome. Thanks so much for joining us.
Luis and Rebekah are getting some of football's biggest names to share their stories.
When I'm talking to these guys and they're being vulnerable and transparent and they're recognizing that, hey, my voice is amplified because I'm an athlete and people look up to me, and I know that if I share my story, if I talk about things that have happened to me or to my family members or to people that I know, people are going to listen.
It's a story of redemption.
I think that he is somebody who really embodies the idea of rising from the ashes and taking the things that happen to you and harnessing it for a greater good.
That Luis and Rebekah hope can help others heal just like them.
I just feel grateful to be that key that is sort of unlocking the door for other people, whether you come from a football family or not, but your story matters.
I had a great time meeting and talking with Rebekah and Luis, and I sincerely appreciate them for taking the time to share their story. And as you heard Luis say, he does not regret his past. He just hopes by sharing his story, he can help prevent someone else from going down his same paths. Robby Baker, Fox 10 Sports Night.